Hoda Muthana is unfortunately still technically a US citizen. What's up, guys? This is GN Guy. If you like my content, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. So, Hoda Muthana. This is this woman right here. Let me take a picture. Alright, this lady right here. She is technically a US citizen, and unfortunately for Americans, she technically still has her US citizenship. Even though she wanted to do a bonfire with her passport, she's still legally a US citizen. So here are the 3 ways to renounce your American citizenship. A person wishing to renounce their US citizenship may voluntarily and with intent relinquish US citizenship by step 1, appearing in person before a US consular or diplomatic officer, one in a foreign country and a US embassy and consulate, and sign an oath of renunciations. Renunciations abroad that do not meet the conditions described above have no legal effect. So technically, under the legal guidelines, she is still an American citizen if she has had that citizenship. So that's another thing that's in dispute. People are saying that her father was a diplomat. But this is a Vox article. So Hoda Muthana told NBC News that her citizenship had never been questioned before, and that we tried to file a passport. It was very easy. It came back in 10 days. But that's not true. Hoda Muthana was issued a passport as a U.S. citizen. That's true. But the government challenged her citizenship before giving her a passport. In 2016, she burned the passport upon joining ISIS. You know, that's the tweet that I was talking about. She and other Westerners burned their passports. She tweeted that a photo of her and several other women in Western passports and Obama administration officially declared the passports and citizenship had never been valid to begin with. This is the Obama administration saying so. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution provides birthright citizenship everyone born in the U.S. soil and subject to jurisdiction of the United States while they're in agreement, however infringe. Justification doesn't apply to unauthorized immigrants living in the U.S. Everyone agrees that it doesn't apply to babies born to foreign diplomats. So, is her father a foreign diplomat? Diplomatic immunity exempts the diplomat and generally his family from U.S. jurisdiction. An argument goes so no children born in the U.S. foreign diplomats are citizens of their parents' home countries, not U.S. citizens. So, she would be a Yemeni citizen. But let's find out if that's true. Hoda Muthana's father, Ahmed Ali Muthana, came to the U.S. from Yemen in 1990 to serve as a diplomatic representative for his home country in the United States. His headquarters are located in New York City. However, he lost his job and thus his diplomatic immunity. As a result, Yemeni civil war in 1990s. The question of exactly when he lost his diplomatic privileges and whether it happened before Hoda was born in 1994 or after. The U.S. government has told Ahmed Ali Muthana, according to his lawsuit, the records show that he held diplomatic status until February 6, 1995. That is until after Hoda's birth, and therefore that Hoda was born where he was still a diplomat and thus not a U.S. citizen, and a Yemeni one. Ahmed Al Muthana, on the other hand, claims in a lawsuit that he surrendered his diplomatic identity card in 1994, months before his daughter was born. Legal experts spoke that it wouldn't be necessary to mean he's officially lost his diplomatic status on the date, however. Steve Vlidick, a law professor of the University of Texas in Austin, said that the U.S. law, ex-diplomats are still in the country and enjoy some of the residential immunity, while they pack their bags and prepare to go back home. But Muthanas were just wrapping up their affairs before returning to Yemen. They were settling in the country for good. Hoda Muthana's mother had already applied for green card in 1994, based on the father's U.S. citizenship, and both Hoda's parents were given green card after she was born. Hoda could have gotten one of those dependents or her parents, since the family thought she was a U.S. citizen by birth and didn't apply for one. Fascinating. The discrepancy first came in 2004 per the lawsuit, and Ahmed Al Muthana applied for a passport for Hoda. When the government said her record showed he was a diplomat when he was born, Muthana obtained a letter from the U.S. mission in the UN declaring their record showing that he had officially noticed as a diplomat throughout September 1st, 1994. Hoda's passport was subsequently granted and renewed 10 years later, right after she left the country to join ISIS. The Obama administration revoked Muthana's passport, but Trump administration declaration raised more questions. Interesting. In 2016, the U.S. government said the Muthana's household letters addressing the Hoda officially revoked her passport. Like I said before, she has to go in front of a U.S. diplomat. Unfortunately, legally, this is not something she can do. Her letter claiming her passport had been issued in error because there was no evidence that she actually was a U.S. citizen by birth. The government asserted that, contrary to testimony provided in 2004, the U.S. mission in the UN record showed that Muthana's father didn't lose his diplomatic status until the mother after Hoda was born. Therefore, Hoda was the right of hearing a challenge in the passport revocation. I think she didn't ask for one. After all, she encamped in the ISIS at that point. Revoking someone's passport isn't the sake of revoking the citizenship. The implication of the Obama administration revocation of her passport was that she would never been given citizenship at all. The Trump administration has simply just been forced to address the question publicly because Muthana now seeks to return to the U.S. and face trial over here. They've done so with their typically blunt way, issuing a press statement that Muthana was never a citizen and therefore that didn't have to take her back. Some legal experts believe that the government is obligated to follow a specific process before determining Muthana is not a citizen. It's not clear whether either Obama or Trump administration followed this process. But it's also clear that whether the process necessarily applies for the revocation of a passport on the grounds that the passport is issued in error. Muthana is a citizen. Even though her passport is revoked, it's generally understood that she's allowed to return to the U.S., Vladek said. If she's not a citizen, there's very little hope for her to return. Attorney Gabriel Mollard told Vox. She tried to apply for some other form of immigration status at this point. She'd be barred because of her history with the terrorist group. Crucially, because Muthana's 18-year-old son was born outside the U.S. and her father was a Tunisian ISIS fighter, question whether Muthana is a U.S. citizen determines his son's citizenship too. Muthana's father's lawsuit, something of a desperate move. The U.S. government just generally doesn't allow passport decisions subject to judicial review. It's not clear whether the judge will ever force Trump administration to explain why it's decided dedicated Muthana not to be a citizen, or just overrule them. In the meantime, Muthana is stuck in Syria. And I'm glad she's stuck in Syria. She comes to the U.S., she should be in prison. And in prison for decades at the very least. That's all, guys. So, if you like my content, guys, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to PewDiePie.